Good evening, all of you. I hope you all are doing well. And today we're going to study the medieval history, most important questions of the Delhi Sultanate. This is the part 3 of the series. Okay, we have seen part 1 and part 2. This is the part 3 of the series. Okay, let's start the session. Our first question: which of the following places was named as Khijarbad during the Sultanate period? I repeat the question. Which of the following places was named as Khijrabad during the Sultanate period? What is the answer? What is the answer? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is option B, Chittor. Okay, Chittor was named as Khijrabad, or you can say Khijrabad, during the Sultanate period. And who named this as Khijrabad? Alauddin Khilji. Okay, after the conquest of Gujarat and captured the Ranthambore in 1303, that's why he named it as Khijrabad. He attacked Chittor. Chittor was the capital of Mewar region. Okay, so during that time, it was ruled by King Ratna Singh. Okay, King Ratna Singh. So Alauddin captured the Chittor, which was again named as Khijrabad after the Alauddin's son Khizr Khan. Okay, that was his son's name, Khizr Khan. So because of his memory, he named it as Khijrabad. Okay, so remember Chittor. And who was ruling at that time in the Chittor? It was Ratan Singh. Okay, Rana Ratan Singh. He was ruling the Chittor. Okay, next. On whose coins the name of the last Khalifa of Baghdad appeared for the first time? On which coins the name of the last Khalifa of Baghdad appeared for the first time? What is the answer? What is the answer? Let's see the answer. Answer is option C, Alauddin Khilji. Okay. So on the coins of Alauddin Khilji, the Khalifa of the last Baghdad appeared for the first time. Okay. So he has, issued lot of coins. In one kind of coins, he has issued the name of Khalifa of Baghdad. In fact, last Khalifa of the Baghdad. So that kind of name appeared for the first time during the Alauddin Khilji's era. Okay. Next. Which Sultan of Delhi assumed the title of Alexander the Great? Which Sultan of Delhi assumed the title of Alexander the Great? So what is the answer? Be quick, guys. Even though if you don't know, just try to guess it. Okay. What is the answer here? Let's see the answer. Answer is B, Alauddin Khilji. So Alauddin Khilji, very famous Sultan of Delhi, he assumed the title of Alexander the Great. He was a very ambitious person and a warmonger. We all know that, right? He was a very ambitious person and warmonger. He liked to call himself the second Alexander because Alexander also very ambitious person, right? He was also very warmonger. He was a very war lover. And that's why he took the title Sikandar-e-Sani. Who took the title Sikandar-e-Sani? Alauddin Khilji. He himself called the second Alexander. Okay, so in the Delhi Sultanate time, the title Alexander the Great was assumed by Alauddin Khilji. Okay, next. Who among the following sultans built the fifth story of Qutub Minar? I repeat the question. Who amongst the following sultans built the fifth story of Qutub Minar? What is the answer? let's see the answer. Answer is option C, Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay, so we all know that who built the Qutub Minar. Okay, Qutbuddin Aibak. He was the founder of the Qutub Minar for the first time in 1192. Okay, in 1220, Aibak's successor and his son-in-law Iltutmish completed the further three stories. Okay, even though the founder is the Qutbuddin Aibak, okay, he completed just one story. So next after that, Qutbuddin Aibak's son-in-law Iltutmish, he completed the three stories. Again in 1369, a lightning strike destroyed the top story of the Qutub Minar. So during that time, Firoz Shah was there. He was ruling the Delhi Sultanate. So Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he replaced the damaged story of the Qutub Minar and added the one more story in that. Okay, so here question is asking who built the Qutub Minar. So if that question was there, then obviously it is Qutbuddin Aibak. But now they're asking who built the fifth story of Qutub Minar. Okay, fifth story was built by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay, next. Which medieval king of India introduced the Ikta system? Which medieval king of India introduced Ikta system? We have studied, right? What is Ikta system and all? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is option A, Iltutmish. So Iltutmish, the medieval king of India, he introduced the Ikta system. It means the land or revenue assigned by a ruler to an individual. We have studied it. Ikta is like a small unit of a very large land. Okay, that small unit will be assigned to the different individuals dependent on the position of their administration. Okay, so that will be for the revenue purpose, revenue assigned by the ruler to an individual. And since the early days of Islam, Iqta existed as a form of reward for service to the state. Okay, say for example, if soldiers are there, any higher officers are there in administration, for them, Iqta should be assigned. It is just like a reward for them. Okay, so then Iltutmish used it to get rid of the existing feudal order and to bring the distant parts of empire together. He used it for some other purpose. So later on, when Alauddin Khilji comes, he abolished the Ikta system completely. Okay, so that also you need to remember. Ikta system, it got established by the Iltutmish and got abolished by the Alauddin Khilji. Okay, next. At the time of Qutbuddin Aibak's death, Iltutmish was the Subedar of which region? At the time of Qutbuddin Aibak's death, Iltutmish was the Subedar of which region? What is the answer? Be quick, guys. So let's see the answer. Answer is option C, Badaun. Okay. So at the time of Qutbuddin Aibak's death, Iltutmish was the Subedar of Badaun region. Next. Who were instrumental in deposing Rajia Begum? What is the answer? Who were instrumental in deposing Rajia Begum? Very famous queen, right, in the medieval India. Who were instrumental in deposing Rajia Begum? Which people deposed her? Let's see the answer. Answer is option C, Turkish. Okay. So Turkish people were the instrumental people in deposing the Rajia Begum down. Okay. Next. For the first time, the token currency in India was introduced by which ruler? For the first time, the token currency in India was introduced by which ruler? What is the answer? So let's see the answer. Answer is option C, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, for the first time, the token currency in India was introduced by the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. That's why we used to call him as the educated fool, right? Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he decided to introduce the bronze coins. Okay, bronze coins which were to have the same value as the silver coins. Okay, now what he is doing? He tried to introduce the bronze coins with the same value of the silver coins. Okay, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq might have been successful in that process if he could prevent the people from forging them. So after introducing the token currency in India, what happened? The people who were staying in India at that time, they started minting the currency in the home itself. Okay, so that's why lot of forgeries happened. So this was a huge fail of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He did not find any success. Okay, so that's why we used to call him as the educated fool. Even though his intention was very good, but the establishment, or you can say implementation of the process, was very wrong. So that's why he's named as educated fool. Okay, next. Which Muslim ruler enforced price control system for the first time? Which Muslim ruler enforced price control system for the first time? Here, price control means any prices of the food, grains, vegetables, any homely need things. Who did that? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is option B, Alauddin Khilji. Okay, Alauddin Khilji, very famous Sultanate ruler, he enforced the price control system for the first time in India. Okay, the primary reason of controlling the market by Alauddin was not to reduce the salary of his soldiers, but to check the rising prices of different articles. So, what is outer articles? Nothing but the items. Because why he did so? There was an inflation in the society. Okay, there was inflation in his administration. So, due to tackle it, so to tackle that, he tried to control the market prices of different articles in the society. Okay, that was his main intention. And he did fix the lot of prices, a lot of items prices according to the previous one. So that he can tackle the inflation further. That was his intention. But his intention was not to reduce the salary of his soldiers. Okay, so that's why he tried to control the prices of the different articles in the society. So here you need to understand who did that. Alauddin Khilji. He did that for the first time. Okay, so he was the first Muslim ruler enforce the price control system for the first time. Okay, Alauddin Khilji. Next. Who of the following was the Sultan of Delhi at the time of Taimur's invasion? What is the answer? Who of the following was the Sultan of Delhi at the time of Taimur's invasion? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is option D, Nasiruddin Muhammad Shah Tughlaq. Okay, so in 1398, Taimur invaded the northern part of India and he attacked in the Delhi Sultanate. It was ruled by Nasiruddin Muhammad Shah Tughlaq. He belongs to the Tughlaq dynasty. And he was opposed by the many of his components, like Ahirs were there, Jats were there. Okay, so these people were constantly rebelling against the this Nadiruddin Muhammad Shah Tughlaq. So at that time, Taimur invaded the northern part of India. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Which Sultan of Delhi is said to have followed the policy of blood and iron? So this question is very important. To try to answer this. Which Sultan of Delhi is said to have followed the policy of blood and iron? By the name only, you can understand it is a very rude, vulgar policy, that is blood and iron. Any person who is lover of war, only that person can say this. Okay. So think about it. Who was that fellow? Let's see the answer. Answer is option C, Balban. Okay. So Balban, he followed the policy of blood and iron. He was a very, war lover king. Next. Which of the following was not established by Firoz Tughlaq? Which of the following was not established by the Firoz Shah Tughlaq? What is the answer? Let's see the answer. Answer is option A, Diwan-e Mustaq Raj. Okay. So other than this Diwan-e Mustaq Raj, like Diwan-e Khairat, Diwan-e Bangdan, and Darul Shafa. So all these organizations were established by the Firoz Shah Tughlaq. But Diwan-e Mustaq Raj is not established by the Firoz Shah Tughlaq. You need to remember it is established by the Alauddin Khilji. Okay. So option A is right. Next. Who among the following Sultanate rulers himself encouraged the bribery in administration? I repeat the question. Who among the following Sultanate rulers himself encouraged the bribery in administration? What is the answer? Let's see the answer. Answer is option C, Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay, Firoz Tughlaq. So Firoz Tughlaq, Sultanate ruler himself, he encouraged the bribery in administration. Sultan Firoz Shah Tughlaq reign has been described as the greatest age of corruption in the medieval India. Bribery is nothing but corruption. Okay, he himself encouraged it in the administration. It can be imagined from the fact that Sultan Firoz Shah Tughlaq once gave a golden tanka to the distraught soldier so that he could bribe the clerk to pass him substandard horse. See here what is happening. Sultan himself is involving in the corruption. Okay, he is giving that golden tanka to the soldier to do so. Okay, so that's why the Sultan Firoz Shah Tughlaq's period, what is there, no, it has been described as the greatest age of corruption in the medieval India. Okay, I hope this is clear. Next, which of the following works describes the qualities of an ideal Muslim ruler? What is the answer? Which of the following works describes the qualities of an ideal Muslim ruler? So these are all the books. So in that, which work describes the qualities of an ideal Muslim ruler? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is option D, Fatwa-e Jahandari. Okay, so this Fatwa-e Jahandari, it is a book. It describes the qualities of an ideal Muslim ruler. In the Fatwa-e Jahandari, it's a work containing the political ideals to be pursued by the Muslim ruler in order to earn the religious merit and the gratitude of his subjects. Okay, so it consists of lot of theories and lot of sutras, we can say, lot of moral principles. How a Muslim ruler can rule his kingdom. What should be the policies? Okay, what should be the political order and everything. So Fatwa-e Jahandari. So this book describes the qualities of an ideal Muslim ruler. So next, who was the ruler of Devagiri at the time of Alauddin Khilji's invasion? Who was the ruler of Devagiri at the time of Alauddin Khilji's invasion? What is the answer? What is the answer? So let's see the answer. Option B is right. Ramachandra Deva. Ramchandra Deva was the ruler of Devgiri at the time of Alauddin Khilji's invasion. We have studied, right? Alauddin Khilji, he conquered most part of the India. Okay, he conquered northern parts also. He conquered the southern parts also with the help of Malik Kafur. He was his slave, right? So Malik Kafur helped the Alauddin Khilji while conquering the southern portions of the India. So during the time of Alauddin Khilji's invasion at the Devagiri, Ramchandra Deva was the ruler. In 1294, Alauddin Khilji of Delhi Sultanate, he captured the Devagiri. Okay, so again he restored that Devagiri to the Ramachandra Deva. That is another thing. But you need to know here, during the invasion of the Alauddin Khilji's Devagiri, Ramachandra was the ruler over there. Okay, next. The transfer of capital from Delhi to Dawlatabad was ordered by which Sultan? The transfer of capital from Delhi to Dawlatabad. Who took that decision? Which ruler took that decision? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is option C, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, so Muhammad bin Tughlaq, like that, he had taken lot of decisions, but they never succeeded. Okay, so this is also one of them. The transfer of the capital from Delhi to Dawlatabad. Imagine Delhi is at the northern part of the India, Dawlatabad is at the southern part of India. So this was ordered by the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. It appears that the Sultan wanted to make the Devagiri as the second capital so that he might be able to control the southern India better. See, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, whatever he thinks now, that will be so good. But whenever he tried to implement his thoughts, now there he was making the mistakes. So here, what was his intention? He thought that Delhi is in the northern part of India. So while staying in the northern part of India, he could not control the southern part of India. That was his thought. So obviously it is true. Okay, so that's why he started to move his capital from Delhi to Dawlatabad, which is at the southern part of the India. So after shifting to the Dawlatabad, he understood that while staying in the southern part of India, he can't control the northern portion of the India. Okay, this is the dilemma in him. Okay, so this was happened. It happened with Muhammad bin Tughlaq. I hope this is clear to you. Next, which Sultan of Delhi was the first to charge the Gari or house tax? Which Sultan of Delhi was first to charge Ghari or house tax? Still also you are paying house tax or not? So who introduced that for the first time in the Delhi Sultanate? Let's see the answer. Answer is option B, Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji was the first Sultan of Delhi to charge the Dari. Dari is nothing but house tax. He enforced some other taxes in the Sultanate such as Jizya. So Jizya is poll tax. And Kharaj. Kharaj is land tax. Next Gari, we all know it is house tax. And Charahat, that is pasture tax. Okay, so these are the different kinds of taxes enforced by the Alauddin Khilji. Okay. Next, which of the following which of the following dynasties ruled for the shortest period of the time during the course of Delhi Sultanate? What is the answer? Which dynasty ruled shortest period in the Delhi Sultanate? Let's see the answer. Answer is option C, Sayyid dynasty. Okay, so these are the different dynasties in the Delhi Sultanate. Okay, slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, Lodi dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, so these are all the different dynasties under the Delhi Sultanate. Among them, Sayyid dynasty is the one which ruled only shortest period of time. Okay, so then Tughlaq dynasty is the one which ruled very large period of time. That also you need to remember. Shortest is Sayyid, largest one is Tughlaq dynasty. Okay. Next. The term used for the measurement of land in Delhi Sultanate period was. The term used for the measurement of land in the Delhi Sultanate period was. What is the answer? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is option B, Masahat. Okay, so Masahat, it was the name, or you can say term used for measurement of the land in the Delhi Sultanate period. Next, which one of the following king of medieval India began the public distribution system? That is PDS system. Now also we have, right, public distribution system. So here, which one of the following king of medieval India began the public distribution system? What is the answer? Let's see the answer. Answer is option D, Alauddin Khilji. Okay, so Alauddin Khilji, Sultanate of medieval India, he began the public distribution system. Okay, next. For whom did historians Badauni commented on his death? Sultan got freedom from his masses and the masses from the Sultan. Who made that, uh, regarding to whom he made that statement? Sultan got freedom for his masses and the masses from the Sultan. To which ruler he made that statement? What is the answer? Let's see the answer. Answer is option D, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Because of his failures, okay, failure in policies. So Badauni, after the death of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he commented that Sultan got freedom from his masses and also the masses from the Sultan. Okay, remember Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Next, who among the following established the Delhi as the capital of Sultanate? Who among the following established Delhi as the capital of Sultanate? Who did that? Be quick, guys. Who did that? Let's see the answer. Answer is option B, Iltutmish. Okay, so Iltutmish established Delhi as the capital of Sultanate after the death of Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, the governor of Bengal revolted after the death of Qutbuddin Aibak. He was defeated by the Iltutmish. Then Iltutmish conquered the Ujjain, Ranthambore, and Malwa region, and he gained the control over the whole of the northern part of the India. Okay, so then Iltutmish suppressed a lot of the revolts, and he made Delhi as the capital. Okay, Iltutmish, remember, he was the son-in-law of Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, next. Which Sultan of Delhi was a contemporary of the Mongol leader Genghis Khan? Which Sultan of Delhi was a contemporary of the Mongol leader Genghis Khan? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is option A, Iltutmish. Iltutmish, he was contemporary of the Mongol leader Genghis Khan. Okay, next. The city of Jaunpur was founded in the memory of. Here, read carefully the question. They are not asking who found the Jaunpur city. Here they are asking the city of Jaunpur was founded in the memory of which ruler? What is the answer? Let's see the answer. Answer is option C, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay. The city of Jaunpur was founded in the memory of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Jaunpur, it is historically known as Siraj-e-Hind. It was having its historical date from 1359, when the city was founded by the Sultan of Delhi, Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay, so here you need to clearly understand 2 points. This city was founded by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay, in the memory of which king? In the memory of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Firoz Shah Tughlaq founded the city in the memory of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He was his cousin. Okay, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was his cousin. Okay, next. Which of the following sultans had greatest number of slaves in his court? What is the answer? Which of the following sultans had greatest number of slaves in his court? Let's see the answer. Answer is option B, Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay, so this Firoz Shah Tughlaq, Sultan of Delhi, he had the greatest number of slaves in his court. Next. Which Sultan of Delhi had established a separate agriculture department and had planned the rotation of crops? Everyone should answer this. Okay, we have studied, right? Which Sultan of Delhi had established a separate agriculture department and had planned the rotation of crops? Rotation of crops will lead to fertility of the land, right? Who did that? Let's see the answer. Answer is option B, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq had established the separate agriculture department, that is Kohi, okay, and had planned to the rotation of crops. Okay, some Kohi is there, so that is the department of the agriculture developed by the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, next. Who was the last ruler of the Tughlaq dynasty of Delhi Sultanate? Who was the last ruler of Tughlaq dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate? Let's see the answer. Answer is option C, Nasiruddin Muhammad. So Nasiruddin Muhammad was the last Tughlaq dynasty ruler of Delhi Sultanate. You need to remember Nasiruddin Muhammad. Which of the following was not built by Firoz Shah Tughlaq? Which of the following was not built by Firoz Shah Tughlaq? So let's see the answer. Answer is city of Jahanpana. Okay, so city of Jahanpana was not built by the Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Jahanpana was the fourth medieval city of Delhi. It was established in the 1326 and 1327 time by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, not by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Here, other than that, Palace Fort of Firozabad and Kotla Firozshah, by the name only you can understand it was built by the Firoz Shah only. Then Hausi Khas, so this is also built by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. But the city of Jahanpana, it is not built by the Firoz Shah Tughlaq, it is built by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And another one city we have studied recently, right? That is Jaunpur. That was built by Firoz Shah. Okay, remember that. Next. Who was the founder of Sayyid dynasty? Who founded Sayyid dynasty? So let's see the answer. Answer is option A, Khizr Khan. Khizr Khan was the founder of Sayyid dynasty. Okay. So Khizr Khan Ibn Malik Sulaiman, it is his name. Khizr Khan Ibn Malik Sulaiman. He reigned 1414 to 1421. He was the founder of Sayyid dynasty, the ruling dynasty of Delhi Sultanate in northern India soon after the invasion of Timur and the fall of the Tughlaq dynasty. He was known to be an able administrator. Who is known to be an able administrator? Khizr Khan. Okay, so after the declination of the Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty will come into the picture. During that time only, Timur invasion will also happen in the northern India. Okay, next. The Lodi dynasty was founded by. Who founded the Lodi dynasty? You need to remember the all dynasties founders and last rulers of the dynasties. Let's see the answer. Answer is option A, Bahlul Lodi. The Lodi dynasty was an Afghan dynasty that ruled part of the northern India and Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province of the modern day Pakistan from 1451 to 1526. So it was founded by Bahlul Khan Lodi. Okay, so when he replaced the Sayyid dynasty. So after the declination of the Sayyid dynasty, Bahlul Lodi come into the picture. He found different dynasty, that is Lodi dynasty. Okay, next. Who of the following sultans of Delhi had abolished the tax on grain, also called as Zakat on grain? Who abolished that? Let's see the answer. Answer is option D, Sikandar Lodi. Sikandar Lodi was a sultan of Delhi between the 1489 to 1517 AD. He was a laborious, very generous ruler. Okay, very generous and laborious ruler. So that's why he abolished the tax on grains. Okay, so remember who abolished that Zakat system, Zakat on the grain, Sikandar Lodi. Okay, next. Which Sultan of Delhi imposed jizya on the Brahmins also? Jizya is a form of tax. Which Sultan of Delhi imposed jizya on the Brahmins? Let's see the answer. Answer is B, Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So Firoz Shah imposed the jizya on Brahmins, the Arabs, more specifically the Umayyad general Muhammad bin Qasim. He introduced the jizya in the India for the first time in 712 AD. So when he conquered the Sindh, he imposed that jizya system in India. But later, during the Firoz Shah Tughlaq, it was even imposed on the Brahmins. Okay, it is a non-Muslim tax, usually on Hindus. Okay, so remember Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Next, Ibn Battuta visited India during the reign of which ruler? Ibn Battuta was a very famous traveler. In fact, he was a historian also. He visited India during the reign of which ruler? Let's see the answer. Answer is B, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Ibn Battuta, he visited India during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So Ibn Battuta, he traveled in 1333 to 1347. He was a Moroccan scholar and traveler. So remember his country also, Morocco. He was a Moroccan scholar and traveler who visited India during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And his book titled the Rahela. Okay, remember Rahela. He throws a lot of light on Muhammad bin Tughlaq's reign. So sometimes in examination they will ask Rahela, it is a text or the work belongs to which traveler. So you need to understand it is by the Ibn Battuta. So during which period he visited India? So during the period of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he visited India. Okay, next. The Sultan of Delhi, who is reputed to have built the biggest network of canals in India, was the Sultan of Delhi, who is reputed to have built the biggest network of canals in India, was. What is the answer? So let's see the answer. Answer is C. Firoz Shah Tughlaq. The Sultan of Delhi, who is reputed to have built the biggest network of canals in India, was Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So this canal system of Firoz Shah Tughlaq are different form, that is to support the newly founded city of Hisar Firoja. Okay, so here question arises, why he tried to build the largest scale of networks of canals in India. So first point is to support the newly founded city Hisar Firoja. Okay, so in 1355 he constructed a double system of canals from Yamuna to Satluj River. Okay, remember Yamuna to Satluj River, he constructed a double system of canals to support this new city Hisar Firoja. So second thing is they are referred to as a Rajvahas in the Indo-Persian historical text. This Yamuna canal was repaired for irrigation purpose during the time of Akbar later. Okay, so because of that and also due to the agriculture purpose, he had built lot of canals in India. Okay, so one is to support his new city, Hisar Firoja. Another thing is to help the agriculture sections of the society. So that's why he built the largest network canals in India. Who was that? Firoz Shah Tughlaq. And these canals between the Yamuna to Satluj River, so it was repaired for the irrigation purpose later during the Akbar period. Okay, so remember that also. Next, who was the first real founder of Delhi Sultanate? Real founder of Delhi Sultanate. Who was that? Let's see the answer. Answer is B. Iltutmish. So Iltutmish, his period was 1210 to 1236. He was the real founder of Delhi Sultanate. He was born in a noble family of Ilbari tribes of Turkestan. So remember his tribe also Ilbari. So by the name Ilbari only he got the name Iltutmish. Okay, so Ilbari tribe of Turkestan. Iltutmish was the son-in-law of Qutbuddin Aibak. In fact, Qutbuddin Aibak was the founder of slave dynasty. By seeing that, Qutbuddin Aibak was the founder of Delhi Sultanate. But who is the real founder of Delhi Sultanate? That is Iltutmish. The Iltutmish comes after the Qutbuddin Aibak. He rendered great services to the Islamic Empire in India. He secured a letter of investiture from the Caliph of Baghdad in 1229. Okay, so here when Qutbuddin Aibak started his dynasty in the India, it was not that much famous. So when Iltutmish came to the throne, he started conquering lot of regions. That's why he is known as the real founder of Delhi Sultanate. He got rewarded by the Caliph of Baghdad also. Okay, so that's why Iltutmish is the real founder of Delhi Sultanate. I hope this is clear. Next, what was Darul Shafa established by Firoz Shah Tughlaq? What was Darul Shafa? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is B, a free hospital. Okay, so Darul Shafa, it is a free hospital for everyone. It was established by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay, next. Which one of the following Sultan assumed the title Umdad ul Niswan on the coins? Which one of the following sultans assumed the title Umdad ul Niswan on the coins? Which sultan had this title Umdad ul Niswan? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is A, Rajia Sultan. So Rajia Sultan assumed the title Umdad ul Niswan on the coins of Rajia. Rajia was awarded with the title Rajia ul Din also. Okay, Rajiat ul Din. So on the coins, she was inscribed as Umdad ul Niswan and she assumed the title Sultan Jalta Dunya Waddin. Okay, this is hard to remember these Persians titles and names. So anyhow, remember Sultan Jalta Dunya Waddin. So this was also her title, and Umdad ul Niswan, it was also her title on the coins. Okay, remember Rajia Sultan. Next, who was the first woman ruler of medieval India? This is a very simple one. You need to answer. Who was the first woman ruler of medieval India? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is A, Rajia Sultan. It's very simple, right? So first ruler of medieval India, first Muslim, in fact, first Muslim ruler of medieval India is Rajia Sultan. Okay, next. The Sultan who discredited the Puri Jagannatha temple and Jwalamukhi temple at Kangra was. Who did that? The Sultan who discredited the Puri Jagannatha temple and Jwalamukhi temple at Kangra was. Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is Answer is C. Okay, Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he discredited the Puri Jagannatha temple and as well as Jwalamukhi temple at Kangra. So in 1316, he invaded the Jamnagar. Okay, so Jamnagar to destroy the specifically Puri Jagannatha temple. Okay, so remember in 1360 he invaded the Jamnagar to destroy the Puri Jagannath temple because it was Hindu temple. In 1326 AD, he met with the success in his expedition to the Sindh. So before this, he had invasion to the Nagarkot. So with an idea to destroy the Jwalamukhi temple. So here two different time periods are there. One is at the 1326 AD, so where he tried to invade the Sindh provinces, and during that Nagarkot, Jwalamukhi temple got destroyed by the Firoz Shah Tughlaq. That is one part. Again in 1360, he invaded the Jamnagar specifically to destroy the Puri Jagannatha temple. Why he did so? Because the Sultan was not tolerant towards the people with different religion. Okay, so he was not like Akbar. Akbar had, very much tolerance towards other religion. Okay, Hindus, Muslims, and many other Jains, Buddhism, and all. But this Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he did not, had that much of tolerance towards other religions. So he started destroying many Hindu temples. Okay, remember Firoz Shah Tughlaq. It's not A, it is C, Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Next, who among the following appointed Ibn Battuta as the chief Qazi of Delhi? Who among the following appointed Ibn Battuta as the chief Qazi of Delhi? Qazi means judge. Okay, chief Qazi means judge. Who appointed Ibn Battuta as Qazi of Delhi? Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is D, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq appointed Ibn Battuta as the chief Qazi of Delhi. Ibn Battuta has discussed his travels and incursions in contemporary Islamic world and documented them in Rehla. I told you, right? Rehla was the work of Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta came from which country? Morocco. Okay, remember that, Morocco. He was appointed as the Qazi by Muhammad bin Tughlaq and was also appointed ambassador to the China. Okay, so remember Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So in this topic, we learned the most important questions of the Delhi Sultanate. If you have any doubts regarding these questions, let me know in the comment section. Any doubts? And please try to solve all the test quizzes given in thedirapid.com and revise all the MCQs, okay? Because your exams are approaching. Any doubts regarding this?